And welcome inside Larry Miller Field, the side of the 2023 5A State Championship Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com, your online home for state championships. Dusty Lister with you. The winner moves on. It's Lehi versus Viewmont. Viewmont took the win last night in a spectacular fashion in the 7th inning. And see if they can ride that momentum and punch their ticket to the 5A Championship Series, where Timpanogos is waiting on the winner of this game in the best-of-3 series. Game 1 will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at UCCU Ballpark. For Lehi, looking to bounce back, the reigning 5A state champions were rolling right through the state tournament, including a win over Viewmont on Monday, and now looking to bounce back after that crushing loss last night. They were up 4-3 in the 7th inning. Viewmont plated 6 runs to take the lead and the win and to force the game tonight. For the defensive lineup for the Lehi Pioneers, on first base, Jackson Brousseau, Dawson Brown at second base, Braden Willis at third base, and it is McGuire Madsen playing shortstop. In the outfield, it is Bowen Ingersoll in left field, Mays Madsen in center, and Tyson Ellswood in right. In the battery for tonight's game, the pitcher, Dawson Rodak, and Brandon Manukin on the dish. Jake Olson, we saw him pitching last night. Remember, he had to leave. A little bit of controversy with inside the stadium. Well, he's not playing the field. He's only designated hitting. So his arm is obviously bothering him, as he is only going to be hitting tonight for Coach Ingersoll and the Lehi Pioneers. Leading things off for Viewmont is Luke Jacobs, the shortstop, followed by Cal Miller, the pitcher, and then it is Braxton Brennenstall in the hole. Timpanogos already won earlier today, a 2-0 win over Salem Hills. It was a complete game shutout from Billy Bird. When a complete game, only gave up 3 hits, struck out 11. On our umpires this evening, at first base, John Clark, third base, Greg Carter, and on the plate is Lars Birkland. And Luke Jacobs steps in, and it's called strike 1. Jacobs had an amazing night last night from the plate, especially down the stretch. A couple of doubles, a triple. Just absolutely electric. As that pitch is in there for called strike 2. Rodak pitched the game on Monday, held this Viewmont offense at bay. And we'll look to do that once again tonight. The 0-2 pitch is hit well into right center field. And that's going to fall in. It's a leadoff single for Luke Jacobs. We said this yesterday. Normally you'd say a left-handed hitter, we're going to sit him in right field and maybe look for something the other way. Luke Jacobs' spray chart is between Gary Poland's pitcher and Glenn Tuckett's pitcher. Nearly every ball has been hit in that area. The only one that wasn't was his triple that bounced off the BYU store sign. That brings up Cal Miller, the sophomore. And Miller goes back up the middle. Madsen with the stab over to first in time. And Jacobs is doubled off first base, and there is 2 away. Madsen typically plays second base, but is going to go play short because of the injury to Jake Olson. And a diminutive Madsen shows some hops. I know his dad doesn't have those kind of hops. Must be from his mom, those Emory County genes. And McGuire Madsen. Maddox definitely, his older brother, definitely could not have gotten to that ball. As that pitch is in there for a called strike. Maddox was a catcher and pitcher. And he's now the backup quarterback at the school up north that plays on the blue turf. And that pitch is off the plate. Ball 2. At the plate is the right fielder, Braxton Brennenstall. Braxton pitched a good game yesterday. And he launches this one high into the air in left field. Still drifting back, still going back to the warning track and making the catch is Bowen Ingersoll for the loud third out. The double play ball from McGuire Madsen made a quick run of that inning. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Lehi coming to the plate. You are watching the 2023 5A State Championship Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com.
Okay.
Then shoot, I can't die. Nothing to do, 더 높이 올라와. 공기도 달라.
And welcome back inside Larry Miller Field. As Lehi will come to the plate, let's go through the defensive lineup of the Viewmont Vikings. At first base, Yona Fayamani. At second base, Brody Hooper. Third base, Jackson Marble. And at shortstop is Luke Jacobs. In the outfield, Tegan Burnside and left, Austin Horlocker. In center field, and in right field is Braxton Brennanstall. Logan Skidmore will be batting in the place of Austin Horlocker as the designated hitter. Due up for Lehi Pioneers, McGuire Madsen, Mays Madsen, and Jake Olson in the hole. As Cal Miller looks to bounce back from the performance on Monday, misses up and away. This Lehi offense jumped on pitches early. And now the 1-0 to McGuire Madsen is there for called strike. The 1-1 from Miller. Misses up and out. We mentioned Miller is sophomore. There's a ton of sophomores in this 5A classification. It'll be a lot of fun to watch baseball in 2 years to see so many guys with experience. As Madsen flares this one in the shallow center field. Horlocker comes in for the first out of the inning. Something that has not been done a lot this week is getting out McGuire Madsen to start out games. Cal Miller on the season was 1-0 in 11 appearances, a 2.93 ERA. And that brings up Mays Madsen, the brother to McGuire. And their younger brother Murph, also on the team. You have to see Murph this week, as that pitch misses inside and it moves to a ball and a strike. And the 1-1 from Miller goes the other way because Madsen, and it goes out of play. A ball and 2 strikes to the center fielder. Madsen chops this one to short. Jacobs up with it. Over to first in time for the second out of the inning. Luke Jacobs, a sure-handed shortstop, terrific athlete. Talk about being the starting quarterback at Viewmont High School. Had an outstanding year for Coach Drew Jones in Drew's first year as the head man of the Viewmont Vikings. And I'll bring you up the designated hitter, Jake Olson. As Olson looks at strike one. And the 0-1, Olson chops it to the left side. Going to be taken on the run. 1-2 on the way to first in time. And Lehi retired in order. Outstanding job by Jackson Marble. And we are through one complete, and we're scoreless. You're watching the 5A State Championship Baseball Series on KSLSports.com. And welcome back in. Top of the second inning. Gives us a chance to thank our sponsor, Heidemann & Associates, the presenting sponsor of KSL Sports Rewind. Go to utah.law or find an office nearest you. Get a free consultation. Go to utah.law for a full-service, flat-rate law firm, Heidemann & Associates. And leading off this inning is Jackson Marble, the third baseman. And Jackson ended last inning with that strong defensive play. As Rodak misses down. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. And that ball fouled out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the third baseman. So the senior Rodak, 7-1 in 12 appearances this year. 2.04 ERA. And the 1-0 off the plate evens the count up at 2-2. American Fork won and punched their way back to the 6A championship game, avenging last year's loss to Riverton. And eliminating the Riverton Silverwolves as they will play tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'll be there for you at UCCU. And the payoff pitch to Marble hit the second base. Bobble taken back and over to Brousseau in time for the first out of the inning. That was Dawson Brown at second base with the out. First time Dawson Brown's seen a ground ball here at Larry Miller Field. It's funny, you don't think about legs and stuff until you have a ball hit at you. What that does to your legs that first time is kind of one of the the funkiest feelings. They're trying to get to that thing. Or it could just be that you had to climb up a hill to get to second base at Helper, American Legion Field back in the day. As Lee looks at ball one. Max Lee, the catcher, was the starting pitcher last night. Through 90-plus pitches as he chases the high cheese, and the count is evened up at a ball and a strike. Shiona Fayamani on deck as that is off the plate. Ball two. Brody Hooper is in the hole. And the 2-1 from Rodak finds the zone and evens us up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now the 2-2 from Rodak. Lifts this one in the right field, right at Tyson Ellswood. And Ellswood records a second out of the inning. And that will bring us to the first baseman, Shiona Fayamani. And Shiona had the big hit last night. He had the go-ahead 3-run double. They got over the head of the right fielder, Ellswood, and all the way to the wall. And he goes the opposite way with this one, but again, right at the left fielder, Bowen Ingersoll, and Viewmont goes down in order. We go to the bottom of the second. Lehi coming to the plate. Bottom of the second inning, and it'll be Jackson Brousseau leading things off, the first baseman of the Pioneers. Jackson, of course, as we've mentioned every time, reigning Mr. Rewind from our football coverage. 2-time state championship quarterback of Ed Larson's Lehi Pioneers. Of course, won a state championship last year as a member of the baseball team, the starting first baseman. He also won a state championship as a member of the basketball team in the COVID year in 2020, the 2020-2021 championship, the first year of Quincy Lewis. As that ball goes the other way, Brousseau's going to have extra bases. Jackson rounds first, heading into second, and it is a double for Jackson Brousseau. I know his grandma's watching this stream. He's got to be proud to see number 15 with the leadoff double and a runner in scoring position in the bottom of the second inning. So that will bring up Tyson Ellswood, the right fielder. And that pitch is in there for a called strike. And that ball chopped at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
Do they live north of Parrish or south of Parrish?
And that one's bounced at the plate. Ellswood batting .427 on the year. Has driven in 18 runs. Has 13 doubles on the season. Of course, Lehi plays in that difficult region in 5A. Always want to call it Region 7. I think now it's Region 8. Realignment every 3 years messes with my brain trying to remember what number's what. The 1-2 misses upstairs. And how much it's changed. My senior year, Lehi was in my region in 3A. We were Region 9. Two balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch is bounced. Matter of fact, I haven't been on the football field since October 2001. Don't know how you do it. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and a payoff pitch. Check swing. No, he did not, says Mr. Umpire. Put runners on first and second. And no outs. And that brings up Brandon Manukin. And Mnookin, the first player I've ever seen wear the big towel. And he started on, I only remember the last night. Didn't remember in games previous. Got his own swag here for the catcher. That is in there for a called strike. Mnookin batting .337 on the year, has driven in 32 runs. Coach Ingersoll. And the 0-1 bounce. Brousseau's not going anywhere. Nice job there by Lee of keeping it in front. Oh. Nearly threw that one away. One ball, one strike. No outs. The runners on first and second. And that ball is bounced again in the left-hander batter's box and moved the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1, Mnookin doesn't offer, but it's in there for strike 2. Double play balls in order for the defense. Corners up, middle's back. So hits the left side of the shortstop. You see him backdoor to third. And now the 2-2 is going to miss. And the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And 3 balls, 2 strikes. No one out. And runners on first and second. And Miller going to give a little look back to Brousseau. Big moment here for the catcher, Mnookin. And the payoff pitch lifted in the right field. It's going to drive him back. It's going to move Brousseau to third as he'll tag and advance. It'll be runners on the corners as Mnookin is retired for the first out. Nice job there by Brennenstall. Pulling that one in. And of course, seeing Lehi out there, we'll go through some little news I saw posted this morning on social media. Brings up Dawson Brown, the second baseman. We'll remember in one of our favorites from when we talk about Lehi athletics, especially Lehi basketball here in just a minute, is runner's going to go. The throw down is in time. Nice job by Max Lee. That pop time was on time. It'll be 2 outs with the runner on third. As Ellswood had no shot.
Hey Trent, recorrect. Because why is he 0 and I 14? Isn't it supposed to be 14? And his jersey number is
Yes, because I know in the last minute either lineup or I don't know if it was a jersey change.
That ball lifted into right field. Brennenstall ranging over and making the catch for the third out of the inning. Brousseau starts it with a double and is stranded at third. We go to the top of the third, and we're still tied at 0. You're watching the 2023 5A State Championship Baseball Tournament.
okay.
You ain't on my level, then shoot. I can't die. 똑같은 질투 떠너비 올라와. 공기도 달라.
It'll be Brody Hooper leading things off at the top of the third inning for the Viewmont Vikings. As Dawson Rodak delivers and finds the zone for strike 1. And Hooper looks at strike 2. The bender finds it. Such a fun sound of the ballpark tonight with the softball game going on behind us. And there's called strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Mr. Hooper. It'll bring up Logan Skidmore. Had a big hit last night in that 7th inning. Following up the Siona Fiamani double as he looks at ball 1. Skidmore looks at strike 1, evens up the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Skidmore as Rodak will reset. And does it again. And so obviously getting a little mixed up here, Mnookin and Rodak. Gets a chance to thank Modern Missionary for being a sponsor of KSL Sports Rewind. Go to modernmissionary.com and register your missionary as we are in Mission Call open season. But you can register your missionary, you can get a shirt and tie for free. You can try it before you buy it at Modern Missionary. As that pitch misses and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2. In there, called strike 3. Back-to-back Ks. Logan Skidmore goes down for the 2nd out. And with graduations coming up, or happening, well, you want to find something for your youngsters or even your middlesters to do, go to UtahJazzCamps.com. As Burnside lifts this one to center field, Mace Matson's back on it and has it. And that will do it for the 3rd. This game moving crispy along. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, still tied at 0. You're watching the 2023 5A State Tournament. Again, go to UtahJazzCamps.com, looking for something to do with your youngsters. Find out where camps are all throughout the state of Utah, even up to Idaho. Or if you're close to them, if you're a Lehi fan, you're not going to the Shoot 360 facility. It's a missed opportunity right over there by Roller Mills on the south side of Main Street at the Shoot 360 facility. And go to UtahJazzCamps.com. And leading things off in the inning is the 3rd baseman, Braden Willis. 8-9-1 due up for the Pioneers. As that pitch misses, count even at a ball and a strike. And the 1-1, no. Lee tried to frame it. Some umpires tonight on first base, John Clark, 3rd base, Greg Carter, and on the plate, Lars Berklund. As that pitch is lifted out of play, evens the count at 2-2. Lars does a good job of making sure he flashes the count. Some umpires get really in the middle of the game and get to flash the count. Leads to confusion among spectators. Swung on strike 3 for the 1st out of the inning. Down goes Braden Willis. So Bowen Ingersoll, the left fielder, he shows bunt with the 3rd baseman, Marble, way deep. And it's a ball, so 1 ball and no strikes to Ingersoll. Ball 2. And 2 balls and no strikes. Cal Miller has this one lifted in the center field. Coming in, that ball got down. I think he trapped it. That ball got down. So it is a hit. So a 1-out single for Bowen Ingersoll. To the top of the order we go, McGuire Madsen. McGuire 0 for 1. Flew out to center back in the first. And that one misses. Two balls and no strikes to McGuire Madsen. And that's in there for a called strike one. Two balls and a strike. That ball lifted in the left field. Not going to get down. Is out there is Tegan Burnside to retire Madsen for the second out of the inning. And that will bring up Mays Madsen. So the sophomore, Cal Miller. I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of athletes since covering the state since 2005. Cal Miller's got some of the biggest calves this side of Tate Staley, who has his, who's been blessed with his dad, Luke Staley's calves. And Cal Miller's got tree trunks, man. Johnny Drama would be so jealous of his calves. As that pitch misses, the count 2 balls and no strikes. Snap over to first. On time. Of course, got one in there for a called strike one. Mace Madsen also a sophomore. The whole Brighton team was sophomores. As this ball flipped into left field, and it'll go out of play. But Lehi moving up to 6A next year. It'll be part of the ever-controversial Region 3. Remember, the original realignment had Lehi and Westlake going north. As that pitch off the plate, and an easy steal by Bowen Ingersoll. But after much deliberation, it became the Alpine School District region for 6A. And Corner Canyon stayed north to join Bingham, Harriman, Mountain Ridge, and Riverton and Copper Hills. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a runner at second base. And that ball lifted out of play. And we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mays batting .383 on the year, has driven in 28 runs. Miller going to get out of the inning. Misses inside. He wanted it, and he wanted it bad, did Cal Miller. Can't blame him, and Madsen draws the walk to put runners on first and second with 2 outs. An inning-extending walk. It'll bring up the designated hitter, Jake Olson. Man, it has been a quiet road all week long, and tonight, graduation night, we got dudes out in hot rods tonight. The 1-0. And it's 1-1. A 26-hit batsman this week, and you see why. These guys are right on top of the plate. The 1-1 hit well into left. Burnside giving chase. Got back on it and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Cal Miller doing a great job. There was some traffic, been able to take care of it as we go to the top of the 4th inning. We're still tied at 0. You're watching the 2023 5A State Championship Baseball Tournament. Top of the 4th inning, and it's Luke Jacobs leading things off for Viewmont. Back to the top of the order for the Vikings as Rodak has worked in order through the first time through the lineup of Viewmont. Surrendered 1 hit through the first 9 batters. And that 1 hit was Luke Jacobs to start the game. No balls and 2 strikes, and now the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 misses. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Jacobs lifts this one into left field. And it'll be handled easily out there by Bowen Ingersoll for the first out of the inning. Kind of just expect fireworks whenever Jacobs comes to the plate. So Cal Miller comes up, rolls this one to short. Matson up with it over to first. That ball's offline. As if we go hit or error. E6. So we're going to go error, so reach on an error. Does Cal Miller. And it brings up Braxton Brennenstall. So Brennenstall, the right fielder, flew out to left in his first plate appearance back in the first. Looks at ball 1. And the 1-0 got him. 27 hit batsman this week. Puts runners on first and second with 1 out. So Brennenstall takes the slow stroll to first. He was frustrated by that. Let's see how Rodak responds. So coming play now is Jackson Marble. As that is off the plate, ball 1. And the 1-0 called strike, snap to second. Not going to get Cal Miller that way. So the 1 out, got a freeze on a line drive on the base paths. The 1-1 misses. 2 balls and a strike. And grant him time. On the season for Jackson Marble, 340 with 20 runs driven in, 5 doubles, 1 triple. As he looks at a ball there, and a count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, Viewmont has an opportunity here potentially to get an inning here. Rodak going to look for the ground ball. Marble looking to advance the runners. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Rodak finds the zone for strike 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and runners on first and second. And the payoff pitch. Chopped to the third base side. Taken by Willis over to first in time as Brousseau applies the tag for the second out of the inning. Advances the runners to second and third. So now the go-ahead run is just 90 feet away. And that will bring up Max Lee, the catcher. Lee flew out to right in his first plate appearance. And that is in there, called strike one. And the 0-1 hit in the left field. That's going to bring into a 2 RBI go-ahead single for Max Lee. He'll take second on the throw in time. A clutch hit for Max Lee. And Viewmont leads 2-0. What you have to appreciate about that, wasn't trying to do too much of that pitch. Got inside, just flipped it in the outfield. And be able to run on contact with 2 outs. Easily played in the 2 runs. That brings up Siona Fayamani. And Fayamani can pick up another RBI. And this big sophomore with the hack. 27 runs driven in, reported through 30 games for Sione. Seven doubles. One of them a big one last night. Hits this one well in the left center field. Madsen on his way, and Mays can cover ground and does. But it is Max Lee giving Viewmont a 2-0 lead on a 2-run RBI single. And it's Viewmont 2, Lehi 0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching the 2023 5A State Championship Baseball Tournament.
Okay. You ain't on my level, then shoot. I can't die. 똑같은 질투 떠너비 올라와. 공기도 달라.
Bottom of the 4th inning, and leading things off for Lehi is the first baseman Jackson Brousseau. Had a double in his only plate appearance tonight, as that's in there for a called strike. And the 0-1 is off the plate. And Jackson lifts this one into center field, and it'll be handled by Horlocker for the first out. So Brousseau retired for the first out of the inning. And as that is in there for a called strike one. Of course, Lehi, the reigning 5A champions. They beat Olympus last year. That ball chopped to left side, handled on the run, and Ellswood retired by Luke Jacobs for the second down of the inning. And that will bring up the catcher, Brandon Manukin. And that one misses. And the 2-0 to Mnookin is in there for a called strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the catcher Mnookin. As Miller delivers another foul ball, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. A beautiful night out at Larry Miller Field. Had some rain in the distance. But been a beautiful evening. The 2-2 misses and the count goes full. And it's just an added noise volume to have the softball games right behind us. Sharing the concourse, you can hear it coming through the tunnels. And the payoff pitch, Mnookin spoils it, and we'll do it once more. And the 3-2 hit well in the left field by Mnookin. That is fair. Big fella getting around first, heading into second. And it's a 2-out double. Gotta feel good for Mnookin. He's worked hard on the plate. And when you play as many games back to back, it's a lot on the legs. Always feels good to see the catcher come through. We saw Max Lee get the hit last inning, which gave the lead to Viewmont. And that's going to bring up Dawson Brown, the second baseman. And of course, last night, the battery was switched. It was Lee on the mound and Cal Miller working the dish. Switch it up for tonight. As Brown lifts this one out of play. Oh. And the 0-1 to Brown. It misses. Ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. And 2 outs with the runner on second base. As that one fouled to the screen by Brown. First time seeing him this week. Of course, hasn't had to play. He's a freshman. Looking for his first RBI on the year. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Mnookin gave him a chance, but Cal Miller slams the door. We go to the 5th as we're through 4, and it's Viewmont 2, Lehi nothing. We'll be right back. Top of the 5th, as it is the official weekend of summer, and you hear Don Henley's Boys of Summer playing. Of course, nickname of baseball players. As that is in there for a called strike 1. Hope you're getting ready. I keep thinking tonight's Friday night. Getting ready for a relaxing beginning of summer with Memorial Day weekend, school ending. I know my 2 oldest can't wait for school to be over. And the 0-2 from Rodak misses wide of the plate. But as it is, I'm sure Detmer and Staley are getting ready to go to bed, and Reagan and McKinley will be soon with the last night of school tomorrow. And ball and 2 strikes in there for called strike 3. But today I saw it posted would be the 47th birthday of Tyson Hawkins, one of the fun parents. One of my favorite parts about what we've done and all the years we've broadcast is getting to know the kids, obviously, but parents and coaches. The parents become really great sources for us and people who give us so much great information and feedback and things that Dana and I have used for years. And Tyson Hawkins is one of my absolute favorites. And lost him way too soon last year, and just thinking about him on his birthday today and his family, Kim and the boys, just certainly continue to set out our thoughts with them. And Kim knows how much we love and appreciate her and everything that Tyson gave us. As that one misses up and in. But you can't do a Lehi broadcast without mentioning Tyson. I always think of every Canadian connection there could be to Alberta, Lethbridge, Alberta, and the surrounding area. I would get a text message about how there's a tie to it. And certainly miss him. As Skidmore swings through that one for strike 2. The 2-2 from Rodak lifted on the first base side. Brousseau coming over, and it's going to get out of play. Two balls and 2 strikes. Mr. Umpire told Rodak, hey, not ready yet. There we go. And now the 2-2 from Rodak. And misses up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. To the designated hitter, Logan Skidmore went down looking. Lifts this one into center field. Madsen's going to roam over there, and Mays will have it. No basket catch. So it did go one-handed. So 2 away. And if you're watching this stream, I know you're a baseball guy, but if you didn't know about Willie Mays and the basket catch, that it was faster to get the ball out of his glove to throw somebody out. And then Lou Brown gets mad at Willie Mays Hayes on opening day in Major League. Don't ever do it again. And off the bat, the 9-hole hitter, Tegan Burnside. And as that one fouled out of play. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 is wide and evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And nobody on as Rodak has this one hit into center field. And Mays Madsen will have a fall in front of him. And it's a 2-out single for Tegan Burnside. And what a 9-hole hitter needs to do. We talk about any state tournaments. What do you do in 7, 8, and 9? Can those guys give you production? And in innings like this, can they bridge you to the top of the order with an opportunity for your good bats to come up and make something happen? Well, with the 2-out single, here comes Luke Jacobs, who has the ability to get this ball to the wall. And with 2 outs, not having to freeze on anything, going on contact, a chance to score from first base on an extra base hit. Rope down the first baseline, knocked down by Brousseau. Jackson will have a chance to make the play, as Rodak did not come over to cover in time anyway, as Jacobs has got spectacular speed. Nice defensive play by Jackson Brousseau. But nobody, very few are going to have the speed to get Luke Jacobs at first base. And absolutely, that ball was scorched up the line. Nice job of knocking it down by Brousseau. As he said, some of that speed and everything else. Hard for Rodak to get there in time, too. So 2 on and 2 out. And Cal Miller, the pitcher, looking to extend the lead for the Vikings. That's in there for strike 1. Of course, Viewmont has not won a state championship since 1975 in baseball. Lehi hasn't won one since last year. Badu Chow, as that ball's out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Viewmont with the 2-0 lead after Max Lee had the 2 RBI single last inning. For those who were running around administering instead of watching the game. Is that pitch off the mark? 1 ball and 2 strikes. So runners on first and second and 2 outs here for Cal Miller. Can Rodak get out of the jam, or can Miller give himself a little bit more cushion on the hill? And it's Rodak winning this battle, getting the strike 3 and holding on here as Viewmont leads Lehi 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of the 2023 5A baseball tournament. So welcome back in. Dusty Litster with you. And as Willis leading things up for the Pioneers. And Braden gets into this one in left center field. That ball's going to get down. And digging for second base. And the relay will not be in time. Man, when he rounded first base, Burnside already had the ball in his hand. I thought, oh boy, here comes the throw. But cut off by Jacobs, and he is safe. So the leadoff man is on. 8-9-1 is due up. So the 9-hole hitter, Bowen Ingersoll, who singled. He has only played appearance in the 3rd. And if you ever catch a little untimely cheering, the audio track isn't off. We have the softball tournament going on behind us. So you'll get to hear that crowd as well. So don't worry. Our audio's, I think we're running pretty clean. The 1-0, wind right back up the middle, and that's going to plate a run. But here comes the throw from Horlacher. It will not be in time, and it's a RBI single for Bowen Ingersoll, who takes second on the throw, and it's 2-1 with the game-time run in scoring position. And come out and have a chat with Cal Miller. You see right now we're one of the interesting times here at Larry Miller Field with you got the portals right behind the plate because it shares the concourse between softball and baseball, and the sun's ready to start setting. And it's, right now the light is only on the mound and then little parts of center field, but the canopy is uneven. And so there's parts of center field that are covered and some that aren't. We're about 15 minutes away and they'll be fully covered in shadows. But it's an interesting time here for Cal Miller, especially when that line drive came back. I don't know that he ever saw it. Talk about having a spotlight on you. And the big spotlight is the big ball of gas in the sky. So to the top of the order we go. And McGuire Madsen, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown out to center and both times up. Scores around a bunt. Oh, this is going to be play at third. Not in time. The throw got behind the bag and the arms got in before the tag got applied. Marble, not a lot of argument between he and the umpire. Kind of looked at him. That was it. I think his hand was in there with Ingersoll. So now that game time run 90 feet away. As Madsen looks at ball 2. And the 2-0 makes it 3-0, gets away. Oh, no, hit. Pardon me, hit him. Put the runner back at third, so there'll be runners on the corners and no out. So runners on the corners and no outs And now to bring up Mays Madsen, the center fielder. And a first third defense call there from Max Lee. Good speed in Madsen. You can expect McGuire's going to go. So see if they throw over one or two times to make him do a couple up downs before he takes off to second. Runner goes. They'll just surrender second base. Don't blame him. Madsen's got terrific speed. So 2 ducks on the pond here for Mays Madsen. And see if Cal Miller, how he can limit the damage here. Infield drawn in. With Ingersoll on third. And McGuire Madsen at second. And that pitch misses. 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 from Miller. Big swing. Strike 1. Mays on the year has 2 home runs, 7 doubles, 2 triples. He's driven in 28. The 2-1 from Miller. Roped into right field. He's now driven in 30 runs on the year. Madsen rounds first, heading into the second. And it is a 2-run double for Mays Madsen. And Lehi takes a 3-2 lead. So Cal Miller has done a great job of holding down this offense. Right now, 3 runs, no outs. We got a runner on second base, and that brings up Jake Olson, the designated hitter. And that pitch is wide. We got 2 guys running out to go warm up. Make it 3 guys as that pitch is off the mark. Oh, just one protecting. So 2 balls and no strikes to Olson. Again, Mays Madsen at second. Got a freeze on the line drive. Your Mays. That ball gets away. And Max Lee's having a hard time keeping the ball in front. It is now Madsen. Advances to third. And a 3-0 count. So 3 balls and no strikes to Olson. And that is ball 4. So back to runners on the corners. And I'll bring up the first baseman, Jackson Brousseau. Again, no outs. Got a freeze on a line drive with the base runners. Corners up, middle's back, playing the double play ball. Runner goes. Brousseau lifts this one to right field, out of play, drifting toward the bullpen. And it is a foul ball. On the evening, Brousseau doubled back in the second. I thought that was a hit and run there. Jackson has the ability to hit the ball the other way. So where his double was down the right field line. That's in there, called strike 2. I've got to shorten it up here, Brousseau. And for Miller, this is a big out because it would keep the double play ball in order and a chance to get out of the inning with the ground ball on the next hitter. Pitch is fouled off. Well out of play. And we'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. Miller's at 84 pitches. Make it 85.
You're no help.
And the 0-2, one to burn. I also wanted to see if they can catch the steal. And the 1-2. Runner goes. Brousseau gets it through. And he'll drive in a run. An RBI single for Jackson Brousseau. And it's 4-2 Lehi. Brings up Tyson Ellswood with runners on first and second. So Olsen at first, Olsen at second, Brousseau at first. And Ellswood, he reached on a walk, showing bunt. And Lee can't handle it. Throw to third, not in time. So advance the runners on the drop pitch. So 2 more runs in scoring position. Two balls and 2 strikes. Now we're probably 1-0. 1-0 on the board. And that one gets by. And it's going to plate another run. It is 5-2. Brousseau to third. And a 3-run lead in a 5-run inning. And there are no outs. And the 2-0. And he plunked him. Might need to go get him. Cal looking tired a little bit. Miller is at 90 pitches. But again, runners on the corners and no outs. Hit batsman 27, I believe. I kept count. And that brings up Brandon Mnookin, who doubled. Had a 2-out double in his last at bat, last inning. And that pitch is wide of the plate. Ball 1. The 1-0. In there for a called strike 1. One ball and 1 strike to the catcher, Brandon Mnookin. Runner goes. Called strike 2, and the runner advances to second base. So again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs and runners on second and third. And a 5-run inning thus far for Lehi. And you feel drawn in as that pitch is out of the zone. The 2-2 misses inside. Count runs full. It is Dawson Brown on deck. And now the 3-2. And the bases are loaded. Base is loaded as Mnookin will get the courtesy runner. Jamin Robertson. And so Brown steps in. The young freshman fouls that one to the screen. Biggest moment for this young man in his baseball career. Biggest crowd he's probably played in front of. Decent showing tonight, Lehi and Viewmont. A ball back to the screen again, 0-2. Not a lot of varsity experience for the second baseman. Very few plate appearances. Looking for his first RBI. And looks at ball one. With the infield all drawn in to try to cut down Brousseau at home and get the out at first. And now the 1-2. Ball lifted in the right field. Still carrying, still going back. Brennan Stahl will not get to it. 1 run comes in. 2 runs come in. And it's a 2-run double for the freshman. Dawson Brown, playing with the injury to Jake Olson, has to go out and play, gets the hits, and a 2-out double off the wall. And if it hadn't been to make sure the ball got down, he was right on the tail of Robertson. He was Jamin Robertson. He was right on him. In fact, he slowed down to give him some room. What a moment for the freshman. So it's 7-2 with no outs. And ball one. So at 101 pitches, Cal Miller can go to 110 pitches. And at 110 pitches, he can start a batter at 109. And he gets to finish that batter. And we're getting to hear kind of how they're going to handle this, as a big swing there from Willis for strike 2. I'll say this. Trent Allred's gone up and down the stairs more than Clough has all week tonight. Called strike 3 in the first out of the inning. So that brings up Bowen Ingersoll. With runners on second and third and 1 out. Chopped to short. Jacobs with it. Going to fire home. Going to get Roberts. Maybe. Robertson falls down. And Brown hung up between second and third. Max Lee, you got to run him back to the bag. And now here comes Hooper. Hooper gets it over in time for the second out. Or probably the third out of the inning. And now the inning comes to a close. But a major crooked number for Lehi. They put up 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's the Pioneers leading Viewmont 7-2. The winner moves on to the state championship series. And you're watching it right here on KSLSports.com. Top of the 6th inning, and it's Braxton Brennenstall leading things off for the Vikings. Had a big inning yesterday in the 7th. Right now, they just got to find something here. You got to put up a crooked number, put up a 0 in the bottom of the 6th, and give yourself a puncher's chance in the top of the 7th as Brennenstall lifts this one in the shallow right field. They were playing him deep, and that's going to fall in and get by the right fielder. Brown had to come a long way out, and it was a long way in right field for Tyson Ellswood, and that is a double. And you see the bounce on that turf. That provides the double on the Texas Leaguer for Braxton Brennan Saul. So Viewmont in business. Brings up Jackson Marble. And in the 7-2 game, Marble lifts this one in the right center field. Madsen's over there, and so is Ellswood. Ellswood with a strong throw from right, but it's not going to have enough on it to get Brennan Stahl as he advances the runner. And there is one away. And that brings up the catcher, Max Lee, who was the hero early on with a 2 RBI single in the 4th inning. Looking for his 3rd RBI. And that's on the plate for a called strike 1. Just mentioned Lee had the 2 RBI single in the 4th. He flew out to right in his other plate appearance in the 2nd. Hits this one well in the right center field. That's going to get down, and that will plate a run. 7-3 as Brennan Stahl will come in, and Max Lee doing some damage from the plate. A 1-out double scores a run. So 3 RBIs on the evening for the catcher. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Siona Fayamani. And that'll also bring out Eric Madsen to come out and have a conversation with Rodak. It gives us a chance to thank you for all your support this year with KSL Sports Rewind, as we've added more and more to our coverage, and we got more and more support. We certainly thank you and all those of you who help us out and reach out, give us information, and help us. It's a lot to cover. When we do a sport, whenever we do a show, and Dane and I do football shows and basketball shows, 6 classifications, and boys and girls, it's a lot of schools. It's over 120 schools, I believe, the number. And it's a lot of players to try to keep track of, and who's what and where and everything else. So I always apologize if something's wrong. Always admit it if we get something wrong, because we assumed something, but it's a lot to cover. So we want to thank you for all your support. But this week at 5A baseball here, 6A baseball at UCCU ballpark. We've been at soccer and dealt with 5 lightning delays for poor Alex Napolis. And then Dane Stewart been at Westminster for the lacrosse tournament. There's Fayamani, an 0-1 count. Swings this one 0-2. Probably 0-1. Yep. And the 0-1. Siona fouls that one now 0-2. It was a predictive. It was a predictive count. We had that last night. The umpire flashed the wrong side. He's like, no, it's 1-1. It might have been today. And then it was strike 2, like right after it. No balls and 2 strikes. Siona swings through it. Strike 3 for the 2nd out of the inning. And now to bring up Brody Hooper. Hooper trying to extend the inning and drive in Max Lee. Corners playing up, middle back. Interesting defensive alignment here from Lehi. And playing them shallow in right field. That was how Brown burned the right fielder last inning from Viewmont on that 2 RBI double. Hits this one well in center field, but where Madsen was playing him, it's right at him. Viewmont gets one back. We go to the bottom of the 6th in a 4-run game. Lehi leading and coming to the plate. You're watching the 2023 5A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com. Bottom of the 6th inning. And we'll start at the top of the order. McGuire Madsen. Funny that he goes by Guy, not Mac, for short. Last year I messed up and thought his name was Gwyn. His mom Jessica thought it was funny. Let me know that not to give her another child, as that one misses inside. Yeah. All the boys named after baseball players up all grounded to short. Hooper up with it over to first. In time. Oh, that was close. That'd be one going out to Secaucus, New Jersey. If you're watching the major leagues, we want a replay. And we'd be watching a bunch of different angles of it. And that brings up Mays Madsen. But yeah, the Madsen boys, Mick, Maddox, McGuire, Mays, and Murph. After Dale Murphy. Obviously Mick after Mickey Mantle. Maddox after Greg Maddox and Willie Mays. As that one misses outside. And that's in there for strike two. One ball and two strikes to Mays Madsen. A two-run double his last time up. Lifts this one in the left center field. Horlacher ranging over and making the catch for the second out of the inning. And Cal Miller will be done. His pitch count at 111 pitches. He could finish one more hitter. And Cal trying to warrior his way through this one. One inning. Been the undoing thus far. And he'll hope that the offense, and he's part of it, can claw back into this one down 4 runs. So we'll have a pitching change. We'll go ahead and mute as they go through the warm-up. We'll be right back. So a new pitcher is Easton Barons with 2 outs and nobody on. He'll face Olson. There, he got him on the first pitch. Jake is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk and a run scored. That's in there for called strike one. Evens up the count at a ball and a strike. But we'll be packing up and moving over to UCCU Ballpark. Starting tomorrow. That pitch misses up and in. That was a ball. And now 2-1. Back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Jake Olson. Played a good shortstop. Batting .410 on the year. 26 RBIs. 12 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs on the season. That hits him in the arm. So a 2-out hit batsman number 27. And that'll bring up Jackson Brousseau. Brousseau's had a good evening from the plate. Runner goes. Throw down not in time, and Olson's going to take third. No, he will not test the arm. Not testing the arm of Luke Jacobs. So Jacobs moved to went out to center field as Cal Miller went to short, replacing the designated hitter. Horlacher was the center fielder being hit for us. Actually, I think you'll keep him as that ball is in there for called strike one. We got a loose balloon. And not only is a balloon, it's a nice silver star on this graduation evening. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brousseau. That ball hit well by Jackson. Going to drive Luke Jacobs back. Still going back. Jacobs can't make the catch. Brousseau around second, looking for third. And it's a stand-up triple for the mobile first baseman / quarterback. Sure, Grandma Brousseau is excited to watch that RBI triple from her grandson on graduation evening. And it's 8-3, Lehi. When that ball left his bat, we've had this all week, it's hard to get a judgment for how high we are, where that ball's going to go, and all you do is watch Luke Jacobs, who had a beat on it. That was a long ways to go for him. Ball hit about 398 feet. With 1 ball and 1 strike. Is on the evening, Tyson Ellswood has walked twice and scored a run. Was hit by a pitch his last at bat. Lifts this one into right field. Berenstahl coming in with Hooper. And Hooper takes it for the 3rd out of the inning. But Brousseau adds a run for Lehi with an RBI triple. Lehi leads 8-3. Going to last ups time for Viewmont. They got another run in them like they did last night. We'll find out. You're watching KSL Sports Rewinds of the 5A Rewinds coverage of the 5A State Baseball Tournament. Top of the 7th inning. 8-9-1 due up as Rodak trying to go complete game. But it's it's Logan Skidmore, Tegan Burnside, and then the top of the order with Luke Jacobs. The 1-0. And now 2 balls and a strike. And now the 2-0 in there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Skidmore, who's yet to reach tonight. Rodak's has done a good game. Has had a good game. Is 80 pitches. That ball through the left side. That's a leadoff single. This Viewmont team. This is almost time to bust out the Independence quote. I'll wait. It's almost time to bust out the Independence Day speech from the President of the United States in that movie. We're almost there. Pinch runner coming up is going to be Brigham Levitt. And something championship. It was 1-0 Spanish Fork. As Tegan Burnside looks at strike 1. No balls and 1 strike here to Tegan Burnside. And the 0-1 swung through, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Spanish Fork took game 1. So Bingham took the 6A game 1, and now Spanish Fork the 5A game 1. No balls and 2 strikes. It was a 1-0 softball game. That's a fast game. Granted, our baseball game has been as fast, and we started after. I know. You got some umpires that tell you, oh, get 2 softball games in your baseball game. Hey, we're on pace. And Burnside, it's back-to-back singles to start this up. And now comes the quote. They won't go quietly into the night. They will not go down without a fight. And they're going to live on. To the top of the order we go. And it's Luke Jacobs. This, just like last night, it was back-to-back singles get going. It was a different spot in the order. Jacobs was intentionally walked, and then we lost everything. Not happening tonight. It is absolutely not happening. What happened last night? We got to apologize. I haven't yet to recognize that. We apologize for the technical difficulty last night. I had a camera literally fall apart last night. So certainly apologize about it, but fix it out. Everything's good to go tonight. Is Jacobs looks at ball one. Luke doubled back in the first. He singled, an infield single back in the fifth. As that's in there for called strike. Been a good year for the Jacobs clan. His cousin was named the Soccer Player of the Year. Won the state championship at the Davis Darts. As Luke, big swing there. He wasn't getting cheated on that one. Looking fastball, gone fastball, but went through the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Luke Jacobs. Got to shorten it up here. We got a mini shift going on the right side. This kid hits dead center cut. And he does right here. Deep right center field, but Mays Matson comes in to get it. Not going to advance the runner. And Rodak does what he needs to do. Stayed off the barrel of the bat. Just missed it. And when you think about just missing, we're talking about millimeters missing it. And there's now 1 away with runners on first and second. And that's going to bring up Cal Miller, the starting pitcher tonight. We finished at shortstop. Going to try to extend this game. Rodak again looking for the complete game at 90 pitches. That is off the plate, ball 1. On the evening, Cal lined out to short. Reached on an error and scored in the 4th. Went down on strikes his last at bat. And the 1-0. That's in there for a called strike. Evens the count up at a ball and a strike. Talking about Cal on the season. Batting .446. They've driven in 26 runs, 9 doubles, 5 triples on the year, and 1 home run. Fouls that one out of play. And the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Big pitcher from Rodak. And it's up in the zone. Manukin able to get to that one to keep the runners from advancing. Got to freeze on a line drive if you're on the base paths. It's Braxton Brennenstall on deck for Viewmont. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and 2 on. And Miller lifts this one in the left. And again, not deep enough to move the runner. And again, off the stay put is we're down to the final out time. Final out on the season for Viewmont. And for Lehi, they are 1 out away to getting back to the 5A Championship Series as the reigning champs trying to get back to defend their crown. As that last out taken by Bowen Ingersoll. And it brings up Braxton Brennenstall. He doubled and scored in his last at bat. Playing him deep in the outfield. And that falls, or probably misses down. Ball 1. Remember, his last at bat was a Texas Leaguer double because they were playing him this deep. There's a long ways to go out from Brown, a long way to come in. This ball chopped down the third baseline and foul. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Rodak now at 96 pitches. Check that, 97. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on and 2 out. And that misses high and outside. Jackson Marble on deck, and then it'll be Max Lee, who's been swinging a hot bat tonight for Viewmont if they can get to him. And then followed by Fa'amani. Granted time. Request time, granted time. And if you're Lehi, you got to be okay with that. Would have been ball 3. Brendan Stahl in the air, bats .461, 40 runs driven in. The 2-1. Foul down the third baseline now, down to the final strike of the season. Lehi 1 strike away from getting back to the championship series. And for Viewmont, 1 strike left in the 2023 season. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 on. Swung, tipped. Whew. That had been the lost start of the swinging third strikes. He would have been safe at first. It would have advanced the runners and been bases loaded with Jackson Marble. But he did get a piece of it. We'll bring him back. Still 1 to burn for Rodak. He's at 100 pitches. Swung on, strike 3. And the champs are back. Viewmont gave it a run, had an outstanding night last night, started out well tonight. But it's the 7-run 5th inning for Lehi that's going to propel them back to the 5A Championship Series where they will take on Timpanogos. Viewmont has nothing to hang their heads over. An outstanding season, a terrific run in the state tournament. You think about last night and the magic and the memories they made last evening, nothing to hang their heads over. Certainly frustration when the season comes to an end and seniors' runs come over and all the years that you spend together are done as teammates. That never really goes away, but there's nothing really to worry about or to just mull over. Been an outstanding year for the Vikings. But for Lehi, it's another year, a chance for the champs to repeat and stay the kings of 5A baseball as they battle through after the loss last night, graduation today. They battled traffic to get here, all kinds of stuff, and they've earned their way down 2-0, a 7-run 5th inning, and they take this one 8-3. Our Hyndman Associates players of the game. Of course, we're going to go with Dawson Rodak, who was just awesome tonight from the pitcher's mound. Rodak finishes tonight going 7 complete with 9 hits, 3 runs, and 6 Ks, and he is our Hyndman Associates player of the game on the pitching side. And offensively, oh man, there's a lot of guys. I'll tell you what, we're going to go with Dawson Brown. Probably not the biggest one with Dawson Brown and Jackson Brousseau. Brousseau had the triple, had the RBI single. It was a big moment at the time. Even Mays Matson, we're going to go 3-headed monster there. All of them getting stars and men in the match tonight. Again, our final score, Lehi 8, Viewmont 3. We move to the UCCU ballpark tomorrow. Game 1 of the 5A Championship Series is at 7 o'clock, but we'll be on with the 4 o'clock game for 6A right here on your home, for your online home for state championships, KSLSports.com. For Addison Grayson, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of the 2023 5A State Championship Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com. See you all tomorrow night from UVU.